Before anyone could anticipate it, Wendy Williams delivered an announcement that caught people completely off guard. Now, claims are circulating that Ricky Gervais and Wendy Williams have aligned to expose who Ellen DeGeneres truly is and the part she allegedly played in silencing those who dared to question her authority. For 19 years, Ellen remained a dominant force on daytime television, building an image rooted in kindness and charm. But behind the scenes, reports suggest a very different atmosphere. Allegations claim that both Ricky Gervais and Wendy Williams felt the pressure of that influence during her long run at the top. In this video, we're going to break down what's being said and how they're now choosing to respond after years of silence.
Seniors really around since the Golden Globes, where
you were a low profile.
Yeah, well, they attacked you. They said that you were mean and rude, and you were surprised at that. You were surprised. Let me just read one of the things they thought was...
I am mean and rude. I'm surprised that...
Ricky Gervais took the stage as host of the Golden Globe Awards 5 different times between 2010 and 2020, each appearance sharper and more fearless than the last. But during his final run as host, he went further than ever before. Standing in front of the most powerful names in entertainment, top producers, A-list actors, celebrated directors, and influential music executives, Gervais didn't hold back. He stepped onto that stage and openly suggested that many in the room had connections to Jeffrey Epstein. This was in 2020, 5 full years before the Department of Justice released official documents detailing aspects of the case. And yet, the way he delivered those remarks, it felt as though he already understood far more than the public did.
What made you think, you know what, I'm just going to hammer him? I don't care what the...
Well, I thought, when they said, do you want to host the Golden Globes, all that stuff I said in the show was true. I said, I'm going to write my own jokes. Right? And I thought, who do I pander to? The 200 richest people in the room or the 200 million people watching at home who aren't winning awards, who aren't millionaires? And it was a no-brainer. I was doing it for them, you know, and I didn't want to, it wasn't set out to hurt their feelings, but it was, if you're going to make it a spectator sport, then you better have something, there better be something in it.
And that certainly wasn't the first time Ricky Gervais had taken shots at those he believed were protected by power. In one of his stand-up specials, he didn't just hint at it. He directly called out the BBC, a major force behind many of these high-profile award ceremonies, showing he was willing to challenge the very institutions tied to the spotlight. While much of Hollywood may prefer to avert its gaze and keep the cameras rolling, many argue there's an uncomfortable truth lingering beneath the glamour. Some of the industry's most influential names have faced disturbing allegations involving children. And rather than pretending not to see it, Gervais appeared to draw a line between the whispers, the headlines, and the silence, connecting dots others wouldn't dare touch.
And there's usually a company in the crew just in case. I mean, particularly if it's a BBC production. Oh, shut.
And it's not that Ricky Gervais didn't understand the risk. He knew exactly what those jokes could cost him. He was fully aware of the doors that might quietly close after that night. But unlike many of the celebrities seated in that glittering ballroom, nervously clutching their glasses and rehearsed smiles, he simply didn't seem to care. For him, calling out alleged predators carried more weight than any trophy, headline, or standing ovation he could ever receive. No award on that stage meant more than saying what he believed needed to be said, right there, in that moment. At the time, much of the audience brushed it off as shock humor. Viewers at home laughed, critics labeled it edgy comedy. The comments were largely dismissed as just another round of Gervais pushing boundaries for effect. But if you go back and watch that clip carefully, really study the room, you'll notice something different. The people he appeared to be referencing weren't laughing. Their expressions were tight, uneasy, almost frozen. And in a room built on performance, that silence spoke louder than any punchline.
The riskiest comedy of your career has been delivered live to millions of people around the world and a room full of some of the world's most famous film stars and directors and producers when you were hosting 5 Golden Globe ceremonies between 2010 and 2020, I think. Yeah. Did you set out each time primarily to, puncture the pomposity of that world of celebrity and to expose some of the absurdities and what you saw as the hypocrisies of Hollywood?
Yes, and that got more honed and more targeted and more important and more liberating as I went along. Do I bite the hand that feeds me? Well, the answer is yes. Because who am I doing it for? Am I doing it for the 200 egos in the room, the most privileged people on the planet? Or am I doing it for the 200 million people around the world watching who aren't winning a Golden Globe, who aren't multi-millionaires? Of course I'm doing it for them. I'm the fat bloke on the couch eating potato chips watching this, and I played that card. I shouldn't be there. I purposely played the outsider. I walked out with a beer I walked out, I didn't look like them, I didn't act like them, I didn't think like them. You know, the truth is, I do know some of them. I have got things in common with some of them. I'm an actor, I'm an entertainer. I was there as a comedian, and I think that, again, particularly in British comedy, a stand-up is a court jester. We're down with the peasants, laugh.
Ricky Gervais has always built his reputation on fearless, uncomfortable comedy. But the night he directly referenced Jeffrey Epstein and hinted at the powerful names he claimed were tied to him, the atmosphere inside the room shifted instantly. Laughter faded, smiles tightened, the air turned heavy. Not long after that moment, reports began circulating that Ricky was never invited back to host the Golden Globe Awards. Since that ceremony, another invitation has never arrived. 5 years later, the release of the Epstein files reignited that speech. To many observers, the newly revealed documents felt like confirmation of what Gervais had boldly implied on stage. Flight logs and internal emails made public by the Department of Justice were said to connect several major studios and production companies to Jeffrey Epstein. According to allegations, at certain studios, Epstein presented himself as a talent scout, approaching aspiring models and even young performers, inviting them to audition on his private island, Little Saint. Another outspoken figure who consistently refused to stay silent was Wendy Williams. She was known for saying exactly what she believed, no matter the backlash. Some claims even suggest that her conservatorship came after she spoke too openly about powerful figures in the industry. When Ellen DeGeneres announced she was ending her long-running show, the response from Hollywood was immediate and emotional. Celebrity tributes poured in, describing it as the closing of a defining chapter in television history. But amid the overwhelming praise, one voice stood apart. Wendy Williams publicly sided with the employees who had accused Ellen of fostering a toxic workplace. She argued that there was another side to Ellen, one the entertainment world had worked hard to keep out of sight.
Our recent events have been unbelievable. Talk about it.
We came back from dinner, and apparently police were called. But I was told that at some point, police were called because the coterie here was saying allegedly that I took my aunt from this facility and whisked her away without any sort of confirmation or approval. Which, according to everything that we have learned in terms of this whole situation, wondering exactly how that correlates with the statements that the Guardian has made, that Wendy is able to come and go as she pleases,
Right.
and that there are no family visits that are blocked.
Clearly, they are lying to me when they say I can go out and do what I want to do. This is my niece, Alex. She just flew in from Miami, okay? I just came from the hospital. So we are going out to celebrate. You know what I'm saying? Celebrate what? I don't know. I'm from the hospital. You know what I'm saying? And of life.
Right.
And this is what has been done to us.
But we're good.
We're good.
A number of investigative journalists have stepped forward, openly calling out Hollywood for what they believe has been done to Wendy Williams, raising serious questions that refuse to stay quiet. If this story captured your attention, take a moment to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and switch on notifications so you're always the first to know when new updates drop. We're just getting started. Now we want to hear from you. What do you think about these allegations and about the ongoing conversations surrounding Ellen DeGeneres? Share your honest thoughts and perspectives in the comments below. Thanks for spending your time with us today. Stay curious, stay informed, and we'll see you in the next one.